Welcome, everyone. We'll give folks a minute or so to trickle in and kick things off at 10:03. This will be recorded, and we'll send out the recording to all attendees after the call. Great. Well, welcome all, and thanks for joining. So today we're going to be discussing product-led growth, product-led sales, and more specifically, how to grow revenue from your sign-up base. My name's Stephen. My friends call me Moock, and I lead up the sales and success team here at Calixa. I got my first taste of product-led sales back in 2015 at Mixpanel and quickly learned that this was going to be the way all modern SaaS was sold. So before we dig into the content, let's kick things off with a poll. So trying to kind of gauge where people are in the product-led sales journey. First off, does your sales team sell into your existing sign-up base today? And second question, do you leverage product data during the sales cycle in any way? We're starting to get some responses here. It looks like the majority of folks here are selling into their sign-up base in some way. But we're seeing a pretty good split of people that use product data and folks that don't use product data in the sales cycle. So thanks for those responses. It's helpful to understand where folks are in this journey before we dig into the content. So quick agenda for the day. We're going to start off with some basics. So an intro to product-led sales. Then we'll dig into some of the common PLS workflows. So prospecting, closing, and growing your inbound sign-up base. And then we'll walk through a demo of the product, help you kind of visualize what it looks like to get started with product-led sales by prioritizing and acting on PQLs. And then feel free to ask questions in the chat throughout, and we'll also save time at the end to address any additional questions that come up during the demo. Cool, so let's dig in. Whether you've been selling SaaS for decades or are new to the industry, you're probably pretty familiar with the traditional B2B SaaS sales model. So in this model, really it's the salespeople that act as gatekeepers to the product. It involves folks kicking off a sales engagement by either requesting a demo or filling out a CTA on the website. Then the salesperson kicks off the qualification, discovery, and demo process, all before the customer is really able to start using the product. And finally, once the customer has gone through all of those motions, they get to implement, and if that's successful, start using the product and finding value. So the approach definitely has its merits. I mean, as a rep, you're going to be in full control over the customer's end-to-end experience with your product. But it also results in quite a lengthy process before any value is realized by the user. And what we've seen is that expectations of software users have changed. So thanks to trends pioneered by the leading PLG companies, think the DocuSigns, Twilios, Zooms of the world, software is now much easier to use than ever, and also more accessible to those who want to try before they buy. So in the modern world, users expect to sign up for free and kick the tires. If they like it, they'll start to use the product more regularly, and then hopefully invite their coworkers. And really at that point, that's where sales gets involved. The contrast is pretty easy to see when you look at the timeframes it takes for a prospect to get to the value realization point. In the traditional model, that could be a year or more, whereas with PLG, consumers are expecting to experience value in near real time, minutes after signing up. And I would be remiss not to mention that Calixa drinks our own champagne on this and has had a a PLG funnel from day one. We strongly believe that it's important to put ourselves in those shoes and build around that process. So with the rise of product-led growth companies and PLS, there are some pretty substantial changes in the journey, and the new journey is undeniably better for the end user, but it also has some pretty big implications on the buying process and sales roles in that. So coming in after a user has experienced the product changes everything from how you run discovery to who needs to be involved in a deal. It also opens up additional challenges, with thousands of people signing up for your product every month, many of whom are not qualified, some of whom are. How do you figure out who you should be talking to? And we've seen that 75% of companies with a PLG funnel already have salespeople. So, it goes without saying, but PLG, I think this is a little overdone. PLG doesn't actually remove the need for salespeople. And salespeople, there is tons of data to prove that salespeople have a positive impact on conversion rates. So that human touch, adding that into the process can increase conversions by 3x. But finally, having your sales reps focus on marketing qualified leads that are qualified by traditional data points like white paper downloads or ad impressions, is leaving a lot of money on the table. So you want to have reps work product qualified leads, or leads that are qualified from both a customer fit. So is this individual or this company in my ICP? And a product intent. Are they showing some key product usage signals that are going to indicate they're likely to convert or finding value in the product? And this can further increase conversion rates by 5x. Great. So where does Calixa come in? We power the end-to-end product-led sales motion by helping reps find, close, and grow customers, most notably from that free sign-up base. So to break this down a little further, there's kind of three key sales motions that we help reps with. First off being helping SDRs and AEs prospect into their existing sign-up base by surfacing the best fit and highest intent leads with product usage data. Also giving you alerts for the high priority signups, meaningful usage spikes, and allowing you to add these folks to sequences or create leads in the connected tools, either manually with one click or in a fully automated fashion. And kind of transitioning to the close section, we're giving AEs a lot of the tools they need to move deals across the finish line. With product-led sales, a lot of it is highlighting the value that either a user or a team is experiencing from the product. So giving AEs better access to product usage data allows them to have more meaningful conversations about what value is being perceived by the customer, and gives them the ability to justify higher deal sizes and accelerate deals along the process. Also layering in enrichment data from tools like Clearbit or your CRM makes it really easy to identify decision makers and champions, and also building the actions and playbooks that are built into the product really make it easy to know you're taking the right action at the right time to move a deal forward. Then finally, we also help AMs and CSMs on the existing business side. So with account growth, helping them find easy ways of identifying growth and upsell opportunities, monitoring those really important usage spikes and dips that could be good early indicators of potential churn. And then also making kind of that preparing for QBRs or that monthly check-in call super easy by giving you all the insight you need about the customer in one place. But what we've seen is this type of functionality is really only as powerful as the data that backs it up. So this is why we've really prioritized building a pretty wide and robust set of no-code integrations with the leading tools in the modern data stack. So we work with companies who are warehouse native, pulling data from Snowflake or BigQuery, but also easily integrate with Segment, Mixpanel, and Amplitude for event data. And then your product data is enriched with data from traditional CRMs like Salesforce and HubSpot, as well as your billing and support tools like Intercom, Zendesk, and Stripe. And then we also have integrated actions with the popular sales engagement platforms like SalesLoft and Outreach, so that you can streamline the process of adding the right leads to the right cadences. And so, this results in a simple interface that's full of rich data, but the key is it's easily self-serviceable by sales reps. So they're not having to go ask the data team to run a query to get them the top signups in their patch that have hit certain usage thresholds or are product qualified. This is all available to anyone on the team in an easy to use console. And it does, it leads to pretty powerful results. So Netlify is a company we've been working with for a while. They were challenged with a lot of the same issues that the leading high growth PLG companies face. They had tons of signups, so tens of thousands a month, growing sales team. They had a siloed data team that would process a lot of these data requests, but take 2 weeks to get back to sales folks. And they didn't really have any good way of kind of prioritizing these leads or managing the end-to-end PLS workflow. So they've adopted Calixa, and some of the key benefits. Their SDR team has been given self-service access to data in Calixa, and reduced the time that they're spending prospecting by about 50%. So going from a day to a few hours. Additionally, centralized data for the broader go-to-market org, and reduce the number of tools that they were switching between just to look up basic things about an account and the deals that AEs were running. So they used to be at looking at 7 different tools, and now there's just Calixa and Salesforce. All right. So before we get to the demo, another quick poll here, and this one is going to be, what are the biggest challenges of selling into your signups? So it definitely feels like product data is one that's top of mind for folks. Well, I think the demo will highlight some interesting ways that we can help solve that. Perfect. All right, so we'll switch gears into the product now. I'm going to walk through a demo that covers how Calixa can help you prioritize PQLs, execute on deals, and then automate with a few key sales workflows. So I'll pull up our demo account here. So reps are typically starting their day in Calixa with a view of their product qualified leads or accounts that should be top of mind. So we make it easy to see your users or accounts and all of the associated attributes about those. You'll see here we're incorporating a PQL score. This is actually derived from machine learning we're running behind the scenes. We have this concept of customer fit, account journey. So what milestones in the activation lifecycle have they hit and who's ready for an enterprise plan? But then you'll also see that we're pulling in a lot of the important metadata from places like Salesforce. So as a rep, I probably want to look at a list of just my accounts that are product qualified. And I can click in and see here that Courier is at the top of the list in terms of their consumption. Billable event we're using here is a general proxy for how much that customer is using your product. But when you click in, you do have the ability to look at this data over any number of dimensions. So the number of actions triggered, the number of events they fired, the number of projects created, etc. This layout is all configurable based on any data that you have. And the idea here is that a rep can quickly see the status of the account. They can take the necessary action, so they can view it in Salesforce. They can create an opportunity. They can look up that account in their admin panel. And they can also find who the right people are that they should be talking to. It looks like we have a VP of sales and a VP of finance that have pretty solid usage and growing usage in the account. So I would likely want to reach out to those folks. And I can do that in a few ways. I can click in, I can learn more about that particular user. I can create a lead in Salesforce if they haven't already been created, or I can add them to a cadence. I think it's also important to highlight a lot of what we're doing behind the scenes in Calixa is trying to understand what are those product qualified signals for you. Given that PLS is a new concept for a lot of folks, not everyone has a good understanding of what makes a lead product qualified. So this is where our machine learning comes in. We're running behind the scenes models that will predict conversion to from a free to a paid plan, or a paid to a larger plan, conversion to opening an opportunity. So essentially any definable milestone by you. And we're going to give you visibility into why the account is getting the score that they are. In this case, you'll see they have high active user numbers, created a lot of lists, and created docs as well. On the deal execution side, we also give you the ability to serve your reps playbooks or a recommended set of actions that they should be taking on a given deal. So they would log into an inbox in Calixa that has their top accounts sorted by ownership, and giving them the best next action depending on where that account is in the process. If it's a, hey, let's get sales involved as early as implementation and help them along that journey, here's some sample content that you should send that account. Before you send the email, you have the ability to quickly pop open the account dashboard and learn more about what that account is doing. Finally, on the automations and alerting piece, we make it super easy for reps to get alerted when those key milestones are hit. So it could be as simple as routing product qualified leads to users in Slack via our DM alerts. This is going to automatically detect who that account is owned by in Salesforce or HubSpot and route the account to the right user. Or it could be a more complex automation where every time someone meets certain criteria, like they've been active a certain number of days, or they've taken a specific set of actions, go ahead and add that user to a cadence or a sequence in Outreach or SalesLoft. This will automate a lot of the manual lifting, especially early on in the user's journey. So this was a quick overview of Calixa. There's a lot more detail that we can go into, and we'd love to continue to chat. If throughout the presentation or the demo, any questions or thoughts have come up and you want to chat in more detail, feel free to contact us. You can email me directly, moock@calixa.io, or you can request a demo directly from calixa.io. All right, thanks everyone for joining. We'll open it up to questions now. I'll end the recording.